Hello, today I'm going to talk about Demonlord from Dwarfstar Games from 1981. The epic game of sorcery and conquest, so it's primarily a fantasy game, and as with all Dwarfstar games, they come in this kind of thin cardboard box. Considering this is 40 years old, I think it's held up pretty well. Got a little bit of tape going there, but it's happy to get it. And there's a lot of these Dwarfstar games, including this one, there's print and play versions you can get, and as always, subscriptions are appreciated. So it's a game designed by Arnold Hendrick. These Dwarfstar boxes, they don't hold up super well. It's bending a little bit, and since they're thin, of course, you get kind of that bending, a little bit of tearing at the corners, but, as I said, it's held up pretty well. I do like the art. The whole art and theme is well done. Fantasy stuff going on here. Skulls, it's interesting that the skulls seem quite a bit smaller than, he must be a giant or something. Of course, doing some magic. And I like how they have that circle there. It's kind of saying here you're like coming into his world or something. But I think it's very well done. On the back, give you a sense of counters, what the map is like. Of course, theme. Demonlord. After centuries of sleep, the demon empire once more sends forth its hideous armies to conquer the lands of men. Desperate fighters stand with bow and shield against the goblin hordes which blacken the fertile valleys. The wizards and priests are called together in a desperate attempt to counter the demon lord's dark magics, but the balance of power lies within neutral kingdoms. Will the Dwarven King, the Cloud Prince of Leon, and the mysterious ancients join with the forces of light, or will they cast their lots with a dark host commanded by the shadowy presence of the Demon Lord? This game is strategy of 2 players. Vividly creates the grand sweep of empires in conflict in the age of sorcery and enchantment. Infantry and cavalry sweep across the land to meet in battle or siege fortresses as winged troops wheel underneath. Priests invoke friendly spirits as magicians prepare potent battlefield magic or summon a great beast to their aid. And controlling it all, the dread Demon Lord and the captains of the Hosar Alliance. So it contains a cardstock map board. It's 12 by 14, 154 full color counters, dice, instruction folder, intermediate to advanced. Components, couple dice. They actually seem pretty much identical to the small SBI dice. Tiny but nice. Rules, course, black and white. A lot of examples. 24 pages. We'll go through that. And this nice big fold-out player aid. Gives you the game steps, different aspects you can do. The neutral orders of battle with different characters. Hosar order of battle. The demon order of battle. Train chart. The train type. Movement mode. Battle size, special effects in battles, siege resolution tables, and then a victory points track. Here's all the 154 counters. I'll show the unique ones in a bit. I was a good collector this time and didn't punch out the counters since they were in punch, and this is a pretty hard game to find, so I ended up printing out a copy of them, and they copied really well. I'll use the copied ones instead, but these are the unpunched counters. So there's troop counters, character units, and then also spells. The unit counters. So there's troop units and character units. The troop units, for example, here has an indication of what type of troop it is, and they'll show on the borders of battle, which I'll show in a bit. The names of the units to correspond with the pictures. As far as the movement mode. F indicates foot, infantry, C indicates cavalry mounted units, W indicates winged flying units. And the homeland deployment location, 2-letter abbreviation indicating when the unit starts game, armor type, and that's to do the color of the armor. The color of troop type symbol indicates armor, a solid black symbol is heavy, a unit outlined in black means medium, a white symbol means no armor. Movement points, the lower right. Basic movement of the unit. Unit expends 1 MP generally each time across the hex side at a new hex on the map. Morale value here, so that you see there's 4 indications. The furthest over is the movement, the next is the morale. A number representing the morale and staying power of the troops. Higher the value, the better the morale. Morale can never exceed 6 in value. Melee value, number representing the hand-to-hand fighting ability of the unit in battle. The higher the better. There's no limit to the melee value. Then the missile values, the one to the furthest left. Number representing the missile fighting abilities of a unit in battle. The higher the better. There's no limit to missile power. And then the character units. Again, you have the movement mode, the homeland deployment location, and then you also have the magic power dash magic range. Magic power is the power ability of the character to cast spells. Any character with magic power 1 or more can cast spells. Higher the power, the greater variety of spells, the more effective battle and siege magic that character. Then the magic range, the strategic spellcasting range of the character in hexes. And then the army leadership ability. Any character with a number, even +0, has army leadership ability. However, some characters, marked no, have no army leadership ability. This ability improves troop movement and may help melee and morale values in battle as in sieges. And then movement points, which is the lowest value here. Then the character name and the character illustration. And then the unit colors. So the demons are in purple. Hosar units are gold. The Greywoods Barbarian are dark green. Some of these are neutral. Liang units are blue. Altuhun Mountaineers are light green. The Ancients are brown. And the Mines of Ula units are pale purple. Magic spell markers are black with appropriately colored lettering. So here's the demon spells and the Hosar spell. So first of all, there's the magic power, the difficulty of spell, the name of spell, and the name of player allowed the spell. There's the start of the game to determine what special spells each player is allowed. The player can either select one deliberately, or 3 more at random, or 5 at random. Necroman, Spellgate, Force March, Earth Pit, Darkness, Visions, and Cloak for the demons. And for the Hosar, Rains, Earth Pit, Spellgate, Force March, Light, Visions, and Cloak. The player aids, they have orders of battle, which they give the names of different characters, and almost all of them are unique. So the Kingdom of Ula, the Balrun, Stone Trolls, Slave Miners, Dwarf King, Dwarven Warriors, no Miners. Then the Ancients. These are Ancient Troopers. This is the old one that invokes at the Temple of the Ancients. This is the Duchy, the Alt 1, Dukan, Swordsmen, Mountaineers, Principality of Liang, Cloud Prince, Elf Legion, Zombies, Greywoods Barbarian, Wood Chief, Warriors, Young Warriors, Wood Tribes invoked at the Forest Temple, so a couple that can be invoked there. These are the spell markers. Hosar's Battle. So these are indicating victory points for the Hosar here. High Priests, Monks, Bishop, Birds of Hosar, Mounted Monks, Fighting Monks, Pilgrims. These are devotees of Hosar. At Timur Knights, Armored Sergeants, Men-at-Arms, Crossbowmen, Spearmen, Peasants. At Bothrock, Baron Bothrock, Pegasus Troopers, Mounted Guards, Home Archers, Horse Archers, Horse Patrol, Front Archers, Garrison Archers. At Guthros, Men of Guthros Militia. At Donsar, the Duke, Knights, Sergeants, Men-at-Arms, Mixed Infantry Peasants, Western Townships, Town Horse, Town Archers, Peasants, Rabath, Wizard of Rabath, Guest Guards, crossbowmen, rebel militia, yellow jar, counter jar horse, jar foot, and then invoke at the temple of Hosar, starting with 2, light spirit, reinforcements, the western wizard, then reinforcements, like a mercenary army, captain general, captain czar, knights, bunch of crossbow, lancers, crossbow, men at arms, spearmen, crossbowmen, and then the demons, water battle, victory points at Erond, Lord of Erond, dragon riders, bunch of guards, patrol horse, lancers, foot guards, swordsmen, slave archers, slave skirmish, and Ishar, dragon riders, mounted guards, patrol horse, lancers, horse, foot guards, pikemen, spearmen, swordsmen, slave archer, slave skirmish, and Tegal, Lord of Tegal, dragon riders, mounted guards, patrol horse, lancers, horse archers, swordsmen, foot archers, slave archers, Kama guards, Kwama guard, Mizzou guard, Mizzou skirmish, a temple of Ibiz, temple priest, temple guard, pilgrims, and you can invoke the temple of Nugris, Wormlord, great worm, gargoyles, direwolves, earth trolls, rockmen, invoke a temple of Ygrath, Bitfin Ygrath, invoke a temple of shaman spirit, and these are reinforcements from the Inner Kingdoms. Prince Tor, Captain General, High Priest, Great Dragon, Firebirds, Armored Lancers, Horse Archers, Hammer Trolls, Elf Goblins. So here's the map. Obviously the colors are a bit intense, but I think there's enough detail and subtleties within them that works for me, so it's okay. One thing about these Dwarfstar games, they come in this like unusual folded board that comes out like this to fit in the box. And often, it is 40 years old, so cardboard can tend to warp if there's any humidity or anything. So it not surprising, I guess, that it does. When I actually play it, I'll put it under glass. It doesn't really matter. But I did find a little helpful if you put like a little paper clip like right on the edges. I found that actually does a lot to make it flat. So it's just a minor thing to do. Shows the province of Nishar of the Demon Realms, the nearby states of the Hosar Alliance, as well as neutrals. Terrain chart lists all the major terrain types on the map. Each type is separated by another thick borderline. So you see the lines within the hexes. Light green, that predominates most of the north, is open countryside. The modded brown and green in the southwest. In the southeast is steppe. The dark green is forest. Light red-brown are hills. Dark browns, mountains. And the white areas along hex sides are alps. There's swamp both sides of the river Bartek. These are the rivers, these swamps. In the yellow desert area, in the steppes, there's rivers, bridges and roads in brown, fords in white. Also includes fortified cities such as Nishar and Timur, smaller castles such as Lyong and Midu, in the west small villages such as Horkon and Kamat. For setup then, I have the map here and then the player aids over here, of course. The order of battle over here shows you where items are initially with a few exceptions. So the demon special deployment, certain units are only deployed if invoked, and they're the TNC units and characters and TS and YO characters over here. Hosar special deployment. So the Hosar devotees, the HO code, over here, are deployed 2 in each of the 4 temples of Hosar. Those are player decides which 2 to place in each, and I've placed the pairs on each of these 4. The Western Township, WT units, placed in towns in order desires. You select one, then roll 1, 2, 3, and see if they're deployed there. So This one, we'll see if it goes to Horkan. Yes. This one goes to Darton. Yes. Here, see if this goes to Kumat. No. Maybe it goes to Bablos. Yes. Then select special magic spells. Each player mixes up a special and chooses 5 of the 7. Or you can select one deliberately and then at random select 3 others, but I'll just select 5. So the Hosar, these are the ones Hosar will get. So Hosar gets Rain, Force March, Earth Pit, Spellgate, and Light. And then the Demon will get Necroman, Spellgate, Force March, Darkness, and Earth Pit. So our player will be the first phase of the turn. And then there's going to be also reinforcements, and those won't come into play in a little bit later. You request reinforcements during the game, start their phases. Cannot be requested until the first battle, the first siege resolution roll, or first unit is lost or captured. As long as the player does not make a request, he will gain additional victory points. So when a request is made at the start of the phase, each subsequent phase rolls a die once per phase. As soon as it gets to 1, 2, or 3, reinforcements arrive. Once it's made, it can't be retracted. So the demon reinforcements are down here on this, down here in the battle order, and you randomly select 9 of the 11, and so these are the randomly selected ones for the Demonlord. Hosar places 9 units face down and randomly selects 8, which are there. The demon are placed on the road hexes leading east off the map, and the Hosar are any road hexes leading west off the map. Also, Spirit of the West Wizard may be invoked as soon as Hosar reinforcements arrive. The character can be invoked at the Hosar Temple and prisoned at the temple if the invocation is successful. That's set up, then we'll get into play. First, the Hosar go first. And to show how to play, I'll move a couple of forces from each out from their various fortresses. I'm not going to move all the units, but enough to give you a sense. So first of all, from Teamer, I'm going to use these forces where I got a couple of foot soldiers, a couple cavalry, various strengths. And the cavalry movement is 5, and the foot is 3, and the character is 6. I'll just be moving them together in a stack. Since they're limited to 3, they're going to head over to Lion here to try to get an ally. Crossing a bridge, and then clear terrain. So 1, 2, 3. And then down here in Barthek, again I'm going to have a stack of a character and a few cavalry, and then also have the Pegasus troopers. They'll go separate. And the cavalry's movement is 6, and the character is 7, so they'll go. And the terrain type movement effects are shown over here, of course. First, the winged. So they're cost across open, steppe, desert. Hills are 1, mountains are 3. Then start heading down to Tegul here to confront the demons. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And then the winged Pegasus Let's get a little bit ahead there. So that's movement. And then no invocations yet. They'll be probably doing that next time. Battles, no sieges, no alliances yet. So then we'll go with the Demonlord. So the Demonlord movement, they're going to have forces going from Taigul and from Erush. So Taigul is here. And they'll be going over to meet the forces. And then they have Dragon Riders, which can go 8. We'll stop there. Across step. So +1 for the forward. So 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll plan on meeting them at the river there. And then the forces up by Erush. So again, they're leaving some back in the fort. They have a Dragon Rider they'll be taking out. And the ones I'll leave on the battle map, obviously the ones I'm not moving around, there's no sense showing them in a stack in there. That's what the whole battle map is for. So the Dragon Rider. And they're all cavalry. The slowest ones are the here's what we have in that stock. So we have mounted guards, patrol horse and lancers, and the Dragon Rider. So the slowest ones are the mounted guards. They're at 5, but they'll all be traveling as a unit. And again, so cavalry across clear terrain. It's 1. One, 2, 3. No invocations yet, or sieges or battles. And then we'll move on to turn 2. Second turn, Hosar movement. So I'm going to go up here to Leung and try to ally with them. They're going to break it up, and it's clear terrain. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. The cavalry will go ahead because they can go 5. The fighters will stay 1 step behind there because they can only go 3. The hex next to Leung, so they can do an alliance attempt. Look at magic. He's got a power of 1 and a range of 0. It would have been handy if he could have done the Force March, which he has, but that requires a 3+ power, and he's only got 1. So on the range there to do an alliance attempt. Let's look at this group down here. So Baron Bartek has a magic power of 2 and a range of 1. So of all the spells they have, the only one he can do is light, and then his basic spells as well. But light's more of a battle spell, so he's not going to do that. And what he's going to do is he wants to conjure a spirit. So he and one of his cavalry is going to go to the High Priest down here in a Hosar temple. And then I don't want these other forces to get too far away from them, so they're just going to kind of stay back here. And that's the only movement he's going to do. So in the Hosar temple, Baron Bartok is going to try to invoke the light spirit. So to be successful, his magic power is 2, so he needs 2 or less. 1, so he's successful. And the light spirit is invoked. And then no battles, no sieges. And then we'll look at the alliance up with the Prince of Timor. So again, the forces of Timor are trying to ally with the Liang forces, the Principality of Liang. And he has 0 range, so he can't cast a allied spell in there, but he is adjacent, so he can try the alliance. Let's roll dice. 3, neutral becomes semi-permanent ally of the player. It's quite handy. So I'll just indicate that by putting the forces of Liang there. And I'll just have them upside down to indicate they're semi-permanent. Then we'll go to the demon player. So for movement of the demon player, they're going to do a few things. So first of all, he's got to cross the river here, which takes an extra 2 MP, so he's not going to be able to get all his guys over here. What he's going to do is he's going to send this one over to kind of harass them. He's winged, the Dragon Rider. You can get there. So he'll attack that group. And these guys will close in a little bit. So it's step or clear, so of course they'll do, they're both 1, so 1, and then when you get there, the +2 more for the river, so it's 1, and then +2 +1, so 4, 5, that's as far as they can make it. Then over here, so what he's going to do, the demon leader in this group wants to go back and summon a demon from this temple. So he's going to leave this stack to do that, and then kind of have his troops fend for themselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he'll invoke that when he can. And these guys, these have movement of 5. They're going to go and attack this troop with Prince Timor. And then the Dragon Rider will go there as well. So we're going to have a couple battles going on. So Lord Irush is going to try to invoke the Pit Fiend of Yorgash. He needs 2 or less. He's able to invoke him. So that's handy. And we'll get into battles. First of all, I'll do the ones on the lower part of the map here. So in this battle, we have the Dragon Rider versus Hosar, and I'll indicate where the battle's happening with that indicator, and then put up the battle line here. So you put the active troops against each other. So we have 2 winged forces here, they'll go against each other, and then these other 2 will be in reserve for the Hosar. There's no characters, so you don't get modifiers from that. But first we do the missile, then we do the melee. The first number is the missile attack. And there's modifiers. So you need to roll 2 dice, and if the value is if it's less than or equal to that value, you score a hit. And the modifiers, it's so +1 if the target has no armor, and -1 if it's heavy. They both have armor, but it's not heavy. So you need a 3 or less for the Demonlord. Nope. And then he's got better attacking, so he needs 6 or less. 4, so he does hit. And then we see it's a hit, so then you check a morale. And on the player aid, there's indications of that. So you roll 1 die. He's been hit. So then you do the morale check after it's hit. Got a 2, so if the result is less than the morale value, the unit survives a hit. And it doesn't have any modifiers. He's not hit by a magic missile or armory leadership. And his morale value is 5, so he survives. So he was hit, but he survived the morale. And then we do melee. So there's no army leadership bonus, and they both have the same armor. And the melee value is here. So he hits, and he misses. So the Dragon Rider hits him, and they need to do a morale check. Unfortunately, his morale value is 5, and he's destroyed because it was greater than that, so he's removed. So I'm going to go to another battle round and move a reserve up, because he had a couple reserves. This one will be back now. And same procedure. There's no characters to do magic, so first missile. He misses. And he's got his the target has heavy armor, so he needed a less value than 2. And he misses. Then we go to melee. They both have 7. And the modifiers for that, +1 attacker has superior armor, so he gets a +1. He misses. He hits. Then we do a morale check. He survives. Another round. Missile. Misses. Hits. Morale check. So he's destroyed. So they survived that battle. I'll put him back on the map here. In the next turn, this fight's comparatively interesting because he's got power of 4, range of 6. And then we'll do the battle with the Prince of Timur and the Demon. Battle up here, the Pit Fiend's got a good power of magic of 5, but only in range of 2, so we won't be using them now. And the battle we have going on here, and I'll indicate the location of the battle here. So there's the battle between Prince Timur and the Hosar versus the demons. So there's the battle lines. These are the ones in reserve. And since the terrain is actually happening in the clear terrain, the maximum battle size is 8, which would fit these characters. So first of all, since there's a character, he can do a magic missile. So you roll 1 die. 1. If the result is equal to or less than the magic power of the character, the missile hits. So he's stacked with his knights here, so he'll be attacking this group. So that character has to do a morale check. And since it's a magic missile, it subtracts -1 from the normal value. His morale is 5, so 4 or better. 6. So he's destroyed. Then we get into the missile round. So since his character was destroyed, he can move another one up from reserves. So now it's the missile round, and unfortunately the Hosar knights here don't have missiles, but the Dragon Rider and the cavalry do. So the Dragon Rider is going... Target has heavy armor, so it's reduced. And his missile. So the character only adds the bonus for melee, not missile. And then this melee hits. Then do a morale check. So again, he gets the morale bonus from the leader, so he's at 6. But unfortunately, he's lost. Melee. And he gets a +2 bonus. Well, actually, okay. So he needed 8. He got a 10. So the 8 + 2 is 10. So he hits, and then he's gone. Then we'll do another round here. Hits, and then do a morale check. So he's unfortunate because the maximum is 6, so he's gone. So since the character Prince Teamer was on a unit that was lost in battle, first of all they have to see if the character was also killed. So on a 1 to 2 they're killed. 3 they're routed. 4, 5, 6 they're unharmed. But since they're the last remaining one of all the troops, there's also a chance it could be captured. So you basically, each player rolls a die. You modify the rolls by, it's in a enemy controlled fortress, subtract 2. It has magic power, that's the highest of the characters there. You get a +1 to his die roll. So here's the Demonlord. 4, 2 + 1, so 3 for Prince Teamer. He's captured. And then you set him off to indicate he's captured. And show a bit about tracking victory points here. So the first turn, neither of them requested reinforcements, so they got 1 victory point for that. But there wasn't any capturing of enemy fortresses or anything. And then the second turn, they both didn't request reinforcements, so they moved up another victory point. And you accumulate these each turn. But then the Demonlord killed or captured more enemy units than he lost his turn. So he gets an extra point for that. And also, the Demonlord has fewer neutrals as allies than the enemy, so they're up to 4 victory points after a couple turns. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of sense of the play. So that's Demonlord from Dwarfstar Games in 1981, the epic game of sorcery and conquest. I enjoyed it. It's got a lot in a small package, as I say. I like that all the units are unique, pretty much. The board is nice. It takes a little bit of care to get it to lay flat, but as long as you put it under plastic, it's fine. Counters are good for the day. Very, it's nice kind of color coding to them. A lot of good detail on the counters. I like how it combines magic with the military as well. Terrain's got a lot of different terrain features, different fortresses and towns and temples, so a lot to go on there. Takes a little bit to get a hang of it, but actually the combat is pretty quick. It's interesting how they do the morale after hits are made. It's a good quality of components, especially for the day. It's unique. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Demonlord from Dwarfstar Games. Thanks.